Welcome to Bravo class. For anybody who's been following my restoration on this car, the other day I pulled down some wiring that was done by somebody that was absolutely horrific. I depinned the fuse block. This is what I found. That wire right there, what fell out of the back of the terminal. The terminal is in bad shape. I got some new ones on order. Goes in that slot right there. But anyhow, looks like I am going to pull that out and replace all that with orange wire. I had a lot of comments from people calling back and said, who on God's earth would do something like that? My theory is that it was done at the dealership when they replaced the dash in the car. When I got into it and I started looking at all of the destruction and damage and modification that had been made, I made a note on how many orange wires there were that were just running all over that car. And I was confused about that. I didn't know if that was original or if that was something that somebody had put in later. Come to find out, it is original. I looked at all of the lights in the car that are turned on and off by opening a door or by lifting the door handle or whatever. And even though everything in there worked, I was suspicious that it wasn't correct. So I started going back to the service manual and analyzing what I could find in it. I took a picture of the pages in the service manual and pulled it into Photoshop and colored in all of these wires with the color as they exist in the car. As it turns out, all of those orange wires that are in there are correct. There's a fuse, this is fuse 2 that was up there that had that little bitty scrawny damaged wire hanging out of it that came out to this big junction. And this right here would be synonymous with that big red wire that went everywhere. There are orange wires that go all over the place. These are all the courtesy lights, the reading lamps. There are lights in the console, lights in the doors, lights in the door panels. And there was one thing that I was confused about. Coming out of that fuse, it's hot 12 volts. There was also a wire that went up to a relay, and they tied together at the same point. And I kept thinking, why in the world would somebody take two outputs from a relay and a fuse, tie them together? Would that not be redundant? Come to find out, that wire that went to the relay is not an output, it's an input. So what happens is 12 volts come through this one fuse that I'm replacing the wire in, and then it goes all over the place in this car. The wire that went to the relay comes out here, and it goes to the coils on the relay. And then this wire right here goes to the BCM. The BCM is what turns on all these lights. And it does that by turning on this relay, which all of these purple wires in here are grounds. All of the orange wire are the 12 volt feed to all the components that exist in here, and all the purple wires are the grounds, and they all come back together at this one point going into this relay. So when the BCM turns on the relay fed from this wire, from that fuse, it shorts all of these to ground and it turns them all on. So now I finally understand all that. There were two lights in the door panel that I didn't understand what they were. When the lights came on, there was these two lights inside the door that were like in a shroud of some sort, and they were glowed, but they were sort of in the middle of nowhere. They didn't look like they would light anything up. They wouldn't light anything up in the door panel. It didn't look like there was anything inside the car door that it would light up. Come to find out, I discovered by reading the manual, that's these two guys right here. These are actually fiber optic wires. So the door, or the BCM turns on those lights, and there's a fiber optic that goes inside the door and comes out in the key. If you notice on these cars, if you lift the door handle, there's a clear or translucent surround where the key goes in that lights up. That's what these guys are. That's lit up by a fiber optic cable that goes up there. So what I'm going to do, and I'm waiting this afternoon for a repair part for that fuse box. I'm going to replace the terminal in that fuse, which was loose. I'm going to put heavy gauge wire and run orange wires in place of that ugly, nasty red wire that was in there to all of these locations, because as ugly as that was, electrically it was correct. That whole thing worked the way it was supposed to. And finally I understand that now by going through and looking at what was there and analyzing it based on what I see here. So I'm going to go take all that red wire out, pull that orange wire back through, connect all these guys up, and hopefully we'll be done with the wiring in the dash. I think this is that relay that controls all of the lights. And this wire right here is the input to that relay right there. So what I'm going to do is to take, this is my new orange wire that I ran from here, that red wire used to go in here. I'm going to attach leads to all of these and these and bring them all in the same spot, including this one that goes up to that relay, and it connects up to the back of this fuse right here. This is fuse number 2. This red wire right here is the hot all the time, goes through the fuse number 2 and then comes out into an orange wire and attaches to this whole bundle of stuff. Now this wire right here, I'm not going to fool with, because it goes, it's the other end of this one. They clipped it one from this wire right here. But agreeing with the schematic, these lights right here are all fed by that orange wire with the purple ground. This guy right here, this is that fiber optic one that I didn't know what the heck it was. This is a fiber optic cable. It goes around and goes up to wherever the freaking key is. It's right there. So there's one on each side. And all of these lights have an orange and a purple as a ground. So that all starting to make sense. Now I don't know what this thing right here connects to. I'm sure there'll be something that connects up from the door panel when it's put in. But I'm going to run this wire all through this loom right here and come out the other side. Instead of this, I'm going to cut this red wire over there, attach it to the end of this orange one. Right here, and pull him through into that bundle over there and connect him up to those 2 red wires right there that the or 2 orange wires that the red one's connected to. So that's my next step. So this is my solution to all the stuff under the dash. So this will be tucked up into that loom right there, and then this will be run through the loom over on that side and then into that door. I'm stopping at the moment because my other repaired VIC has just arrived, and I want to put that thing in and test it, see how that works. Okay, the new VIC is in. Let's turn this light out. not new VIC, it's one that's just been refurbished, it just came in today. Let's see. There it is. And it is stable. Awesome. Thank you, John. That is freaking awesome. Perfect. So now, did you notice something that didn't happen when I put power on it? You know what I forgot? I forgot the link between the fuse box and the orange nest. As Sarah and Tune calls it, robot spaghetti. So I've got to, the parts came in to repair the fuse box. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that and run that link down there and tie it into that bundle. And then pull it into this door, and I hope we'll be done under here. Thank you, John. That is awesome. Okay, the wiring is done. Take that off charge. I hope it's done. Let's see if this is going to work. Well, didn't sound like anything popped. It's just finger tight. I can't crank it like that. Okay. Lights are on. Why do they stay on? I wonder if they'll go out. They may go out. Twilight Sentinel might be on because I've had all that stuff disconnected. And let's see, here's the VIC. That's working. Let's go around and get in the other side. Close the door. Make sure all the doors are closed. I had a problem before. Oh, they went off. Cool beans. They work. Okay, now this is my cleanup job. It all goes through, which will route it over all that stuff instead of under it. And looks like everybody's playing like they should. Cool. I think I'm a happy camper. I'm thinking it's beer time. Okay, yeah, lights in the door. That light right there, this is the fiber optic cable that goes up to that key. It's probably too dim to see. Oh no, you can see it. Cool. Awesome. I wonder if the other one works. John's telling me I need to replace those bulbs because those bulbs, as far as I know, have never been changed in 35 years. Yeah, that one's on. I don't have the bulbs, the rest of the bulbs in this side. Let's see, does that one come on? I don't see that one. Oh, I bet it's been disturbed when, yeah, it's been disturbed when the glass was taken out. We'll have to reconnect that when the glass guy comes back. But it looks like everything is working like it's supposed to. Awesome.